Hello friends, welcome back to the Power Query series. I hope you have already watched part 1 and 2 of the series. If you have not, please watch them because you need to have the continuity. As I mentioned in the earlier video that we are going to create a quick dashboard using whatever model we have created now. Let me add a new sheet. In that I'm just creating the quick dashboard. But before getting into that, we need to see whether we have complete data in our model or not. For that, let me add a new pivot table. So the shortcut for creating pivot table is Alt N V. Let me mention the shortcut here, Alt N V. One by one, you need to press. So if I keep the cursor anywhere and just press Alt N V, by default it is taking the data model and the connection where from we connected the data from a different place. It is not selecting the table or other location. So just press enter. Now I have a pivot table created, and in the right hand side I have pivot table fields and the table revenue is available. If I expand the revenue table, let me see whether I have all other information is available or not. I have customer, date of joining, and other information. I have duration. I don't have any revenue information. So I need to construct a revenue information now by getting into the Power Query editor and then come back, and then we can create the complete pivot table, and rather let us create a complete dashboard. To get into the Power Query editor, either you need to click on this button to access the queries and connections pane. Otherwise you need to go to the data tab. There you can select queries and connections command. Once you get the pane here on the query, currently it is revenue. If I double click on that, I'll be able to access the Power Query editor. Now I'm inside the Power Query editor. I need to add a new column containing revenue. To add any new column, I have a separate tab, that is add column. There are many options like column from example, custom column, invoke custom function, conditional column, index column, duplicate column. Many things are there. I'll be discussing about these all columns while I am going to explain Power Query editor in Power BI in detail. But currently I would like to create a custom column because I need to create a revenue column using if condition. For that I need to select custom column. If I select the custom column option, I will get a dialog box where I need to type the if condition. It's simple M query. I need to change the name of the column as fees collected. I can call it as revenue, otherwise I can call it as fees collected. There I need to type the code. If you know a basic VBA coding if condition, or if you know the basic if formula in Excel also, you can understand what I am typing now. The syntax should be small in this current context. So if basically the decision making here is if the duration spent by a student with me to learn a subject is less than or equal to 15 hours, I'll be charging 15,000 rupees or 15,000 units. If it is between 15 to 35, the fees will be per hour, some fees, and if it is 35 to 50, some fees. If it is more than 50, some other fees. So that is what is my rate card. Same thing I need to type here. So for that, either I can select this and double click. So that duration is the column which I need to take into consideration for my calculations. Otherwise, just add a square bracket so that the IntelliSense can show me the list of all the items. So let me go to the duration and press a tab, and then less than equal 15, then 15,000. So that this line will decide any row where the duration is less than or equal to 15, there the revenue will be inserted as 15,000. I'm just coming down. You can press Ctrl Enter or Shift Enter to come down. You can type the code continuously, but I would like to type it in a very sequential manner so that you can understand what I'm typing. Else if, again, duration is greater than 15 and duration is less than equal 35, then whatever duration multiplied by 900. So this will decide the next statement. So let me select this entire thing and just copy it and paste it down. Only change few values like 15 to 35 and 35 to 50, and then the amount is 800. Finally, anything else, whatever duration more than 50 hours, if I have to pay, if I have to charge, it is just that particular rate, that is say 700. Now this is the syntax I have written. Now this syntax is not carrying any errors. If I have any error, that particular area will be given an underline with red color so that I'll understand there is an error. Currently my syntax is good. And then if I press OK, I will be able to get a column containing the fees. Now you can see there is a column created, fees collected. But this data type again is not clear. Excel Power Query is not able to understand what data type it is. There are two ways of doing. One is just click on the ABC123 and change the data type, which I have explained in the previous video. That is the reason you need to watch the previous videos to understand what exactly we have discussed in previous videos. Otherwise, you can just expand the formula and just type a small piece of mQuery. So, comma, integer 64 type. Currently this is showing as ABC123, but when I write this integer 64 type and press enter, you can see this will turn into 123. So let me press OK. And now the number is now converted to 123. So the data type is confirmed, and you have a specific column called fees collected. Now we can use this information and start creating the report the way we require. Now I need to close Power Query Editor and I need to jump back to Excel. For that, Home tab, and then I need to select Close and Load. This time I need not select Close and Load to, because now already we have decided that we are loading to a connection, not to the table or pivot chart. So let me select Close and Load. Now I'm back to Excel. Let me select the pivot table and let me select the pivot table field icon so that I'll be able to see the pivot table fields. Now an additional column added, fees collected. Let us quickly decide what we want in this pivot table. I want to have top 5 customers. So let me add customer into rows and then fees collected into values. I have all the customers. I want only top 5 customers. For that, I need to just go to the first value of the customers, right click, filter, select top 10 and then change this top 10 to 5 and press OK. This will create top 5 customers, and then I can sort this by top to bottom or largest to smallest so that I have got my top 5 customers. Likewise, I can create quickly revenue by city. So let me select city. Sorry, I need to create another pivot table, Alt and V, enter, and then let me select city and then let me select fees collected. Now you can see the revenue by city, and let me add fees collected again, and then I can right click, show value as, and then percentage of grand total, so that this is percentage of grand total. And now I have a different view, not only the revenue but the contribution of each city against the total revenue. Next, another pivot table, Alt and V. I want to know the trend. Let me select the date of joining. The moment I added the date of joining, you can see this is showing only the date column. I'm not getting any year. For that, I need to just update the layout so that the date of joining will appear here. There I need to select, right click, then group and group by months. Now this is by month, but I don't want by month, I want by year as well. So let me select year as well. So on the top. So now it is by year and by month, and I can add fees collected. Also I can add the duration. I need to create this pivot table in a classic mode. For that, let me go to the design and let me go to the report layout and select tabular so that you can see the view in a different way. So date of joining is not required. So I require only these two columns. So likewise, I can create any kind of pivot tables, but with these 3 pivot tables, I'm just creating one quick dashboard. For that, I need to create charts. So let me add a new sheet there. Let me say charts, or let's say dashboard. Now let me go back to the sheet and just press Alt and C1 and then add it. Now one pivot table added, this pivot chart is added. I need to shift this. So right click and then move the chart to dashboard. Let me add it. So this is added here. When you create a pivot chart, this will be having some filters and other options. So this is basically the field buttons. We don't require field buttons now. So let me unselect the field button. And now the chart is complete. So this is, I can just type here top 5 customers. I can just remove this axis, and then I can remove this total also. I can add data labels so that the values are coming up properly. Rather, I can change the design the way I want so that they are looking nice. Likewise, I need to create another chart, that is a combination chart. So press Alt and K. Alt and K will reveal the dialog to get all the chart types. There I am selecting combo. And then I have in the combination chart, clustered column is fees collected and line is percentage of grand total. Let me select this line and make it as secondary and press OK. Now I have this chart which I need to just move it to the dashboard. So let me select dashboard, press OK, and let me add here. Then I can change the design. Let me select a design like this. I think it's fine. I need to remove the field icons or field buttons so that I need not look them. So let me change the format. So text fill, maybe slightly this color, also this is the same thing, so that I don't see them. So that way I have got another chart. Now I need to have the chart, the trend line. Rather, I can add a column chart or a bar chart, whatever I want. So Alt and C1, and then let me remove the field items and right click and move the chart to dashboard and add it here. If I make this chart a little bigger, this looks nice. No, I don't want all these things. I can add legend if I want. If I don't want legend, I don't want. That's fine. So duration is not coming in a proper manner, so I need to convert into a combination chart. So change chart type, select a combination chart, and then make it line and make the line like this, and make it secondary and press OK. I think this is not coming up properly. Anyway, so you can make it modified. Otherwise, I can remove the duration so that it is looking nice. Let me add data labels. Our main focus is not really the revenue, I mean creating a dashboard, but most importantly we are looking at Power Query Editor. But this is one added value to you. While watching this video, you'll understand how to create a quick dashboard in Excel. Now I need to add some slicers. So for that I need to select any chart. Let me go to the chart analyzer, or where I can select a slicer. In this slicer I can select date of joining, rather date of joining and month and year. Press OK. So I have month and year slicers are added. Also let me add one more slicer, that is, let me select the chart. Let me select another slicer, that is application and department, so that I can filter this entire information the way I want. Now all the slices are created using only one chart, so I need to connect all these slices. So let me right click on each slicer, go to the report connections. You need to select report connections, then you need to connect all the charts so that you can use these slicers to control entire dashboard. Right click, report connections, and then connect everything. Now if I select 2017, the data will show only 2017. There if I select admin, it is only related to admin. If I select January, this is related to January. And if I select Excel, this is related to Excel. So now you are actually filtering entire information with few clicks. Now most important thing is, as I told you that if I add any incremental data, I need to just press a refresh. So let me go back to the real Excel where the real data is sitting. Let me open the file, and then the file name is Power BI dashboard. There I'm adding some additional information of another year. If you look at the data is containing only 3 years, 18, 19 and 17. So 20 information I need to add. Let me quickly add any few lines of line of items. Let me select all these lines, copy them. Sorry, I need to copy them and then just paste it here. And I need to change only the dates for them. So press Ctrl H, and I need to change 2019 to 2020 so that 2020 is added, and then replace all. Now I have 21 cells are replaced with a proper date. Now here you don't have any revenue, and you have certain blanks as well. Let me remove another one, and if I press OK, this entire information will be taken care by Power Query Editor by not doing anything. And only thing is you need to save this file and close it. Closing will help you to understand that you have saved it. Only thing is I need to go to the data, and then I need to go to refresh all. You will notice one thing here, 2020 added, and the rows are now not 521. There are another 21 rows are added, that is 542 rows. And it is very clear that now you are not doing any extra work. You are just clicking refresh button after adding the data into the other file, and that too the file is not the native file, but native file is currently where your report is. The file is sitting somewhere, the data is sitting somewhere. Only by just clicking the refresh you are able to do it. So that way Power Query Editor is helping you to not doing unnecessary clerical job, so that you are saving a lot of time, but you are able to now analyze. If I select 2020, since we have added very small piece of information into that particular Excel, only that much information is coming up. In the next video, I'm going to explain the same process in the Power Query Editor of Power BI, and it will be in 3 different ways. One, doing the same process what I have shown you in Excel Power Query Editor, and the second one, taking the code what we have generated in Excel Power Query Editor, that mQuery, using this code and transform the data in Power Query Editor in Power BI, but we need to do small changes. And third one, just typing the mQuery completely in Power BI Power Query Editor and transform the data, so that you will be understanding how mQuery behaves and how to write the mQuery, and those concepts will be understood. My suggestion is, make sure that you are watching this entire series from the beginning, so that you'll understand what exactly is happening. Because this is the 3rd video and there are already 2 videos are created. To have continuity, you need to watch them first to understand what exactly I'm doing in each part of the video. Please keep watching. Please subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and please share and please like and let many people know. Thank you very much.